If you are white and live in the United States, you're probably a racist. I am. Most people don't want to be racist, but science has proven that most white people have an implicit bias against people of color. In fact, since you were a very young white person, you were fed negative stereotypes. Good guys wear white hats, bad guys wear black hats, and on and on. That's why implicit racial bias is built into our society. That's why unarmed black men are shot by police more often than unarmed white men. It's why the white guy gets the job over a black person with the same qualifications. Even if you say, I voted for Obama, or I have lots of black friends, yep, you're probably still racist, because your subconscious has trained you to be that way. And if you're asking yourself the question, am I a racist? You probably are. And if you say, I'm not a racist, you most certainly are. Here's how I discovered I was a racist.
All right, Token, give me a smooth bass line. I don't know how to play bass. Token, how many times do we have to go through this? You're black, you can play bass. I'm getting sick of your stereotypes. Be as sick as you want, just give me a goddamn bass line. God damn it.
That's right, all black people do not play the bass, but that hasn't stopped me from thinking it and occasionally asking. So stop asking yourself, am I a racist? And start asking, what can I do to stop the racism I see in the world? And get off my lawn.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you for always tuning in, and thank you for all the comments, subscribe and like. I hope your day is going good wherever you are. Yes, the knowledge of the truth is sweeping across all the continent of the world. You know, as you know, I always talk about people having good culture and celebrating it, embracing people, loving each other, and all of that. But right now, I came across a lot of clips about how the white Americans are saying that most of them, when they were growing up, they were taught into believing that all the people that are of different race are not good people, that they should beware of them, they should not get close to them, these are the rhetorics that they were told. And when they began to grow up, the elementary school, the high school, and all, they began to grow up to find out that these things are not true. And of course, with the level of information, access, and all of that, they've made up their mind that they are not going to follow this route that they have been taught by their parent or parent's parent, that is grandparent, and they chose to be different. I've got this couple of videos compiled for you guys. I want you guys to watch so that after you have watched them, we can begin the conversation. I have a lot of thoughts I want to share with you, but I'm not going to send any of them right now because I want you to watch and form your perception, form your opinions, then we can begin the conversation around them. Thank you for watching. And credit belongs to the original creator of every video you're watching here. I'll be right back, don't go nowhere.
My parents raised me to be extremely racist, I believe. So I'm white, obviously. Both my parents are white. And all growing up, we were kind of just, in general, taught that anybody, basically any color, that was not white, anyone that did not look like me was dangerous, scary, bad. And that also extended to if someone had tattoos or piercings, if they had colored hair, they were dangerous or bad. So when I was really little, I remember like we would be in like a grocery store parking lot or something, and I remember this one time there was a Hispanic mom with like all her little kids in like a minivan next to our van, and it was my mom and all of us kids, and my mom locked our doors. And we were like, Mommy, aren't we going to get out and like go shopping? And she's like, we have to wait till she and her kids leave, because they were like coming out of the store. She's like, we have to wait till she and her kids leave. We can't get out of the car like until they're gone. And so it was just like subtle lessons, I guess, like that just kind of like formed. Because when you're a kid, you just copy whatever your parents do. So if mom is afraid of a colored person, then I'm supposed to be afraid of a colored person. And so I don't know that I necessarily grew up hating them, like colored people, or just anybody that didn't look like me. I don't think I hated anyone. It just, I had learned to be afraid of people and to be wary and to like clutch my purse a little bit tighter type of thing. So this question is like, do I feel like my parents' racist views affected me in my life and how I viewed people, especially when I started getting out into the world? So if you followed my story, you know I joined the military. The military is a lot of other people other than white people. And so I went to college first, and I grew up in I would say, a very white area. A very Christian area, a lot of homeschooling people. It was just very white, in my opinion. So there were other ethnicities like in my classes and stuff, but I didn't talk to them. I really didn't talk to anybody. I very much kept to myself, but I just was like, it was just natural for me. I don't talk to them because that's what I was like raised with. Once I joined the military, I mean, there were non-white people in leadership over me. There were non-white people starting in boot camp. Like, I had 3, they're called RDCs in the Navy, but basically a drill sergeant. I had 3 drill sergeants in my unit. Only one of them was white. And so from the very beginning of my Navy career, like, there are some situations where I'm the minority. There's not very many white people. There's not very many females in general, but there's not very many white people. And so I had to get used to that very quickly, and I very quickly learned, it was kind of like rewiring my brain in a way. I very quickly learned, like, colored people are not dumber than me. They're not more dangerous than me. Like, a lot of times white people are scary. So it was very, very weird for me to be literally a grown adult just now learning that people that aren't white are not necessarily scary. Like, that was kind of weird for me. And again, I don't know if it's not like they sat us down and were like, you can only trust white people. It was just those little, like, lock the doors if a colored person walks by in a parking lot. It's just those very, like, subtle undertones, I guess. But when you're raised with that your entire life, that was just what I thought. So yeah, I think it did affect my views as an adult, not like being racist myself, I guess, but just more of being in shock of like what the real world was once I got into the real world. Looking back, I can now see, oh my gosh, my parents were so racist. Just these little tiny little lessons that we would learn here and there, like, again, locking doors when somebody walked by, or that person has tattoos, they're gonna go to hell type of thing. Like, just those things, I'm like, we were just kind of naturally taught that over time. And so it took like a bit of rewiring my brain. And I think, honestly, I think that the military was the biggest thing that helped me with that, because the military is such a diverse organization with people of all ethnicities and races at all levels. And I've known a lot of really stupid white people in the military and a lot of really smart other ethnicity people. So like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, I think the military was what kind of taught me that literally you can have idiots and smart people in any race. Like, skin color doesn't matter. But I don't know why. I don't know if my mom was raised racist or not. I mean, her parents are both white. I don't know how she was raised regarding that, but it was very, very clear to me, like, anybody that's not white is scary or dangerous, or you can't trust them, or lock your doors, or, you know, hold your wallet a little tighter type of thing. It was weird.
So I was raised to be racist. My grandparents used the hard R. They called the store down the road the hard R store. They were probably some of the most racist people, and let me know that if I ever brought somebody home that wasn't a part of my race, that I would be disowned. And I must say, I definitely disappointed them, being this beautiful lesbian who married a Filipino woman. This is truly just to show you that even though you were raised in a household that was racist, homophobic, bigoted. You don't have to be that way. I grew up thinking that me being gay was one of the worst things. I remember sitting there and just being like, please God, let me just like a guy. Let me just like a boy. I don't want my family to hate me. I don't want them to disown me. I remember my mom telling me that if her kid ever came home and said that they were gay, that she was going to disown them as well. So, I mean, I grew up in a very, very strong household of, you're going to do what I say and you can't be your own individual person. Look, you don't have to be your family. Just because you were raised that way doesn't mean that you can't grow. This day and age, we have so much knowledge out there to prove that these thoughts that they have is absolutely ridiculous. So be a good person. Love people. Love people. Okay? Just be good.
It started with like we would watch a movie, and if it had like a black lead, like a black actor who was the lead, they would change it, and I'd be like, why? I was watching that. Well, we don't watch, and they say a slur, we don't watch them on the TV, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we don't do that. Any kind of positive outlook on anything besides white culture, it was frowned upon. I was made fun of for it. I was told I was a slur lover, like that kind of thing. And we're talking, I'm not even a teenager yet.
Yeah, you're like, you said you were around 8 to 10 or something?
Here's the racism is spoon fed to you. It's not like what you see in movies. It's not really shoved in your down your throat. It's slowly fed to you. But some bites are bigger than others. Sometimes you do get a big bite and you're like, oh, this is a lot to chew on. And you have a choice to spit it out or swallow it. And me, I was always half and half because I, wanted to trust my parents or parent at the time. So I thought, oh, they know best. They're the ones raising me, like that. I was a very logical child to a degree, but also very ignorant. But that was because I was being raised in ignorance.
I was on the phone with my grandma the other day and realized how racist she is. Now, I have two sides of the family. One's Catholic, one's Mormon. And the first time I heard outward racism towards black people was right before I moved to Atlanta. She was like, don't bring any of those black people home or something like that. It essentially don't date black people, which is very common in white culture. I've found out in whiteness, keep that bloodline alive. And in Mormonism, it's actually taught that you need to stick with your bloodline for heavenly reasons, but it's not that. It's definitely white supremacy. But I just think about, I was having a conversation with her and we were talking about food. And I was talking about how my boyfriend makes really good Mexican food because he's Hispanic. And the kids really enjoy his Mexican food. And she's like, you're dating a Hispanic? That's okay. Grandma, why would it not be okay? Like, what? Grandma, why did you need to say that? But then it just brings me to like this bigger picture about how the black community draws a lot of strength from their ancestors. And I just think about my ancestors, and it doesn't matter Catholic or Mormon, like they're racist, they're colonizers, they're filled with hatred.
And very soon you can see how people are coming out to say that they are sorry, that they apologize for what they've believed in the time past. I've made a video about this. A lot of beautiful people, white folks, are not aware of what they were into, most of them. Because a lot of them were taught when they were growing up. They never knew. I mean, as a toddler, as a young kid growing up, imagine being told that, hey, the people of so color, they are not good people, they are bad people, so don't go close to them. Don't let them be your friend. Don't bring them to the house and all that. Imagine being told all of that while you're growing up. What would you have thought? So I believe strongly that these rhetorics, this narrative, were being passed into most of those kids while they were growing up. And that is why I said, I made a video before now that I don't totally believe that every one of them is bad, because some of them don't even understand what they were told, what they were, the information that was passed on to them. They just find themselves living it, acting it unconsciously, because their subconscious has accepted it, it has been programmed into them, and it has become a way of life. By the time they grew up to know that, oh, this is not good, it was rather late for them. Some of them were like, let me just continue this pattern of life, this route of life. I can't change it. So it takes a whole lot of effort to want to fight what you've been taught. We all know that when our parents teach us some things, it becomes addiction, becomes a way of life, it becomes a pattern of life that is very, very difficult, especially when you have parents that are so hard that if you do anything outside of that, you're in trouble. So it has become a way of life, and some of them are really finding it difficult to let go because it has become a way of life, a pattern, an addiction, a shift in their way of thinking to what is not true, to what is not right. And when you have a shift, it's difficult. It takes time to also unbundle it. And that is what most of them are going through. But I've come to realize that a lot of them are beautiful people. They're lovely people that are just a decision that was made for them when they were younger. And they're trying to bid against it. As you can see from the video, a lot of them are saying they accept and they admit that they are this. They're using the R word and they said they are that word, but they chose to have a new leaf. This is what that is. So I'm sharing this video so that everybody can get to understand what we're fighting against, because a lot of things has been programmed, a lot of narratives. We're talking about hundreds of years, decades, century, and you can't just unbundle it within a generation. No, within 40, 50 years. No, it's going to take a whole lot. And what we can all do is just to enlighten people, make people understand, make everyone understand that this is a rhetoric that has been told, which is not true, which is not right. And we can begin by correcting it, by sharing information like this. And of course, when you say white folks, white people also admitting and saying this is what it is, and they are turning a new leaf. So such information, we're going to pass it around and let everybody know that this is what has been done and this is what they are saying, that they don't accept it, and we spread the message of love so that everybody can know and form this attitude of love and not abuse each other, but love and love and love. They said love conquers all things, and that is why I'm bringing this video. Because some of the children, some of those young people that have gone through those things are saying, no, we can't continue this way. They're turning a new leaf. And of course, those past, those teachings were also taunting them. And they said they can't continue this way. And that is why I've brought this. Guys, let me know what your views are, your perceptions are concerning this interesting topic. And I want you guys to share this story and let it go viral so that this knowledge can go everywhere and we can begin to uphold that which is right, just, and truth. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, I always say, walk in love, walk in peace, and avoid trouble. Bye bye.